FearnutZ, it's a show where two guys talk to you. Even though you can't talk back, Mr. FearnutZ will feel some are two talking guys. Last 30 minutes to an hour, those two guys that I mentioned have a show named FearnutZ. And you should watch it right now.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the FearnutZ Hour. Best half-hour show on the internet. I'm Mr. FearnutZ. Along with me always is Fearsome. What is on topic for today?
Today we're going to try and talk briefly about the fights if we have time at the end. Main focus is going to be on upcoming and newly released movies. Basically, you know, it's getting warmer out, getting into summer, just going over the summer movies, what you should see, what we hope's good, but probably won't be.
Yeah, the summer blockbusters are kicking off, as we all know, with probably the biggest movie of the summer.
Well, before we get into the big blockbusters, I was going to cover a couple that are out right now that they can see, like, on demand and stuff. First is Badass, which, if you don't know, is a movie based on an internet video about an old guy it was like a live video that somebody got on, like, their cell phone. This old guy on the bus getting messed with by these younger guys that were just kind of being D-bags, and he just got up and whipped the shit out of them. And they were like, hey, people love that guy. Let's make a movie about it, but instead of an old white guy, we're going to use Danny Trejo because he's awesome and he works for cheap. So, yeah, it's basically a movie about he's the old guy on the bus, this veteran that beats up these kids and becomes famous and starts just beating up punks all over the place. So I'm excited about it, and it's available on demand right now. We're going to have to pick it up when we have time so we can give it a watch, but I think it looks good. And
I think it's going to be good in the hobo with a shotgun.
Yeah, exactly. You know, not everybody's cup of tea, but for those of us that like the grindhouse style movies, you know, the cheap action flicks with some, you know, lowbrow comedy, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a win.
It's going to be entertaining. Yeah, it'll be entertaining. Plus, Danny Trejo is hard to go wrong with Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
He's just great.
I mean, you know, this is the second week in a row he's made it on.
That's true.
Because, you know, Pool Boy was awesome. But, alright, so, and by the way, we're going to try and hurry through these because we got a long list. So, we're going to just spend like a minute or two on each. Okay, so moving on. God Bless America. Also, it's out in some theaters, but if you can see it, you're probably going to see it on demand because it's already available on demand through like PS3, Time Warner, all those.
And this was directed by Bobcat Goldthwait, written and directed by him. And it looks amazing.
Yeah, again, if you haven't seen the trailer for it, just a quick synopsis. It's about this guy, I believe he gets diagnosed with cancer.
I think he gets cancer,
And he's just watching one of those, like, My Super Sweet 16 or something, and decides that the girl's a spoiled brat and he needs to do something about it. Drives, like, 500 miles to, like, set her straight, and I think he just kills her.
Yeah.
And then this young girl that knows her, like, sees him and wants to get in on it, and it's basically about them just killing people that do asshole things, just trying to make the world a better place, one asshole at a time. And I think it's going to be good. And hopefully it's a good message, and hopefully it inspires people to go out and kill assholes.
And as Bobcat Goldthwait said on his interview for AOTS, it has Artie, the strongest man in the world, from Pete and Pete. He makes a cameo.
Alright.
I love Pete and Pete. So
I wasn't the Nickelodeon kid growing up that you
Pete
were.
Pete.
Okay.
Awesome.
Alright, anyway, I think the last one we have to cover that's out already, and we could be wrong on this, don't quote me. Some of the others may have appeared on demand in the past week since I looked these up. But the last one I know of that we need to cover that's out is Three Stooges. And this is on my iffy list. I want it to be good. I want it to be hilarious. I love the Farrellys. Will Sasso being
was
cast.
a perfect choice.
Yeah, I mean that was like the one dream choice that actually got, you know, stuck to. And that's about the end of my hopefulness. because the rest of it, I think I can sum up my gripe pretty quickly. I was reading some articles a while back on why they changed the cast so many times, because if you were like us, we were Stooges fans, and we were following this for a long time, and the cast changed dozens and dozens of times. And the reason was some of the actors wanted to do like their version of the characters, and the Farrellys didn't want that. They basically wanted impersonators. You know, they wanted to stay as true to the original as possible. That being said, I can't see a fucking preview without the fucking Jersey Shore in it. If you wanted to stay true to the fucking original, you shouldn't have fucking thrown in something that automatically is obviously just a catch to get the new fucking crowd and will date it so quickly. I mean, Jersey Shore is already fucking gone. So when you go watch this movie, fucking, if it's good enough to warrant a rewatch in 3 years, you're gonna be like, oh my god, you remember how stupid the Jersey Shore was? Immediately gonna take away from the film. It's taking away from the film now, and it's gonna take away from the film even more as it goes down the road.
Haters gonna hate. That's all I got to say to that.
Even if you're a fan of Jersey Shore, you have to admit that it automatically dates it.
The reason why they brought that in is because they figured they have us. The hardcore Stooges fan, they figured they already have us interested. So they're trying to get the next generation. What's hot right now? Jersey Shore. So they do the tie-in. I don't think it's going to be 90% Jersey Shore.
I don't think
it's just those one or two cameos.
It's going to be a smaller part of the movie, you know. I'll be surprised if it's over 5 or 10 minutes of the movie tops. But my point is, they went through all this trouble to appease themselves as hardcore fucking Stooges fans. I don't see why they would do that. I mean, you go out of your way to make sure that you have this clean bowl of water and then you drop a turd in it. To me, it's fucking asinine. It doesn't make sense.
You use a lot of shit metaphors.
Well, because when you make a shitty decision, that's what I think of. I think it's shit.
Okay,
anyway,
we'll move on.
Okay, alright. You want to start with the ones that we definitely want to see?
Well, yeah. Okay. We can start with the ones that everyone's.
Well, I got them kind of in order of date. So you want to do it like that chronologically? Okay. All right. Good. All right. We'll start with the Raven then.
The Raven, yeah.
You want to sum it up?
The Raven is starring John Cusack as Edgar Allan Poe, and the story.
Poe.
That's what I said. Poe.
You said Poe.
That's what I said.
Anyway.
Well, who makes fun of me for saying Poe all the time?
I know, it's hilarious.
So,
you leave out the L in a normal time you're using pole, and then you put the L in for Poe. Anyway.
This guy's a jerk. Anyway. So, a serial killer starts murdering people based on the writings of Edgar Allan Poe. And John Cusack is helping the police in the investigation. It looks really interesting, and I think it's going to be a great movie.
Yeah, I agree on this one. We're both in agreement here that it looks good. We're definitely going to check it out. Comes out next week. Yeah, especially if you're into like goth or period pieces or murder mysteries. I mean, if you're a Poe fan, then you probably fall into at least a couple of those categories. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's got a big crowd that it can appeal to. Do I think it's going to be a blockbuster? No, but I think it's going to do well for itself.
What it reminded me of from the trailers is the old movie The Pit and the Pendulum with... Oh,
God, I hope not. I mean, I like that movie.
That
movie could not appeal to most people. It was very slow paced, and I think it's going to have a quicker pace. Alright, so that's The Raven. Next up, I'm sure everybody's heard of this one, so we're not going to go over a synopsis with it. The Avengers.
I have never heard of this. What is this?
Everybody's heard of the Avengers. Everybody knows, you know, it's the movie with Iron Man and the Hulk and fucking Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch and Captain America. Who am I leaving out? Nick Fury.
Thor.
Thor. Yeah, I mean, it's got all them, and what some of the mainstream I don't think realize is Joss Whedon's the director. You know, a lot of us that are pumped about this movie, we already know that. Some of us that don't follow like it's closely on the news about movies and stuff, Joss Whedon is the guy who did Serenity and Firefly. You know,
he also did Buffy and Angel.
True. And
he's very hit and miss for me personally.
He's I mean, I think he does a good job in each area. Like, I don't think Buffy and Angel were aimed at us, you know? But everybody loves it that, you know, likes that type of thing. So I think he's one of those people that no matter what field you put him in, he works well in that area, you know? And so I don't see how this movie could be a miss, honestly. I mean, they got so many good actors. Yeah, they got so many good actors. The action sequences from the trailers look amazing. Joss Whedon directing, and Joss Whedon, you know, is a geek. Yeah. You know, he's been one of them that's been representing the geek interest long before it was popular. So, don't see how this movie can go wrong.
Yeah, and I'm really excited that they brought back Loki as the main antagonist, at least from the trailers.
Yeah.
Because he was the best part of Thor. He was a great actor and really did well in that movie, carried that movie. And I'm excited to see that coming back. And I'm working more of the Thor.
I'm glad to see something besides Aliens, because I don't know if anybody's watched the, you know, we try and check out the animated Marvel movies as they come out, and every one of the Avengers animated movies we've seen, it seems to be about fucking aliens, just every time. Aliens, aliens, aliens. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, alright, speaking of aliens, next up in the queue is Prometheus, which I'm excited about. You not so much, and honestly, it's for the same reason, I think. I'm excited mainly because, you know, this is a guy who brought aliens into the world, you know? And I'm a huge Aliens fan. Like, Aliens is one of the greatest action sci-fi movies ever made. First Alien, you know, pretty good, a little slow paced for most people. The sequels, just kind of mindless action. Aliens, though, it set the bar. It made the formula that others try and copy, you know. It's a great movie. And on top of that, they have an amazing cast. If you put Idris Elba in anything, I will watch it. I don't care if it's gay porn, I'm going to watch it.
It does have a good cast, and the trailers and stuff look really good, but I don't know. I guess I was maybe too young to appreciate Alien and Aliens. It's the same way with the Terminator movies. Like, I watch them, but I don't think they're that great. I don't think they really hold up.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Because like I've watched the first Terminator. I've watched all of them within the past like 3 years or so, and I love the Terminator movies.
I think they're okay. I think they're okay at best. Like RoboCop, but no, I just really didn't think was very good.
RoboCop, the first one was great. The second one was good. But the third one was a fucking travesty.
Yeah, and that's where I am with Prometheus. I think I'll see it. I probably won't see it in theaters. I have no interest in spending money.
A theater movie.
Special effects. The special effects are going to be good. I just have no interest in spending money and seeing that in theaters. I think it's going to be okay at best.
Alright. So on to the next one. This is another one I think we're both excited about. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I mean, that sums it up. If you haven't seen the trailer, look it up. It's about Abraham Lincoln as a vampire hunter, and it looks so amazing. And you know, it's based off a manga or graphic novel, which I hadn't read. I'd heard of it. I'd always meant to getting around to reading it, just never made it onto my list. But I'm super pumped about it. It looks great. I love that they used the axe as his weapon of choice, you know, the wood-cutting axe. I just don't see anything bad with this. If it's bad, I'm going to be really, really fucking surprised.
I mean, it just sounds like such a cool concept. I know the graphic novel is pretty well followed from the people who read graphic novels. Yeah. They seem to... And, I mean, everyone knows excited about it, but I know a lot of geeks, so...
Sure. And see, I don't know as many geeks, and I don't. Well, I know more of the mainstream people, and nobody knows about it. Even like when I mention Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, people are like, "What? What are you talking about?" So, if you're watching this, go check out the trailer. Go check out the trailer. All right, on to the next one. Actually, another vampire movie, Dark Shadows. I never saw the original show. You said you saw the original show.
It used to run in syndication on Sci-Fi a fair amount. But it was a real campy kind of soap opera with, vampires and stuff in it. So I guess you would say it was like a early 80s version of True Blood.
That was a weird comparison.
Without all the nudity.
Alright, so like I said, I never saw the original series, so I don't know about the source material. What I know is this, and this is why I'm excited for it. It's Burton teaming up with Depp as a pale, fucking, outcast that's out of touch with especially modern society, coming in to help a dysfunctional family. You know what that is? That's Edward Scissorhands. You know what was amazing? Edward Scissorhands. And now they bring him in as the vampire, and if that's not enough, they throw in Michelle Pfeiffer and Johnny Lee Miller. I'm sorry, but when it comes to like women over 50, Michelle Pfeiffer, I would just do terrible, terrible things to you and your body. Just unspeakable things. And Johnny Lee Miller, one of the most underrated actors of our time. Great, great actor. Amazing. I don't see how this movie can go wrong.
I love Johnny Lee Miller ever since Hackers. I followed his career. Eli Stone's one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
Oh yeah, I can't believe that got canceled.
Can't believe that got canceled. But it's Tim Burton and Johnny Depp. And I've seen this before. And I've seen it again. And then I've seen it again. Right. And then I've seen it again. I'm not that big of a fan of the combination, honestly. It's another one that I will see, but I probably will not be what I was hoping it would be.
And I can understand that because, it is a duo that you've seen work together time and time again, and some efforts stronger than others. Like, I was disappointed in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
I was. Now, I don't think it's a bad movie. I still liked the movie. I still bought it, but I expected a lot more, and it didn't quite fulfill it. I probably wouldn't have been quite so upset if I hadn't gone and see it in 3D, which was a complete fucking waste. The 3D effects in it were fucking horrible. Alright, are we done ranting on that one? We're ready to skip to the next? Okay, next one that I'm really looking forward to, I probably will need to go ahead and sum up because I don't think a lot of people have heard of this, is Safety Not Guaranteed. It's a movie about these reporters see an ad in a paper, they're looking for a story to do, and they see an ad looking for someone to be a partner to a time traveler, and it says Safety Not Guaranteed, hence the title. And they go to do a story on this guy and find out that he may not be completely crazy, that some of what he's saying may be true, and it's an odd, quirky little story, It's a little out there, but I kind of like those movies from time to time, and the casting pool is great. They're representing The League, Parks and Recreation, New Girl, and it's one of those offbeat, like, romantic stories, it looks like, and I like those. I like the ones that are about somebody, that's a little crazy or whatever, because, let's face it, most of us are at least a little fucked up.
Not me. But it is an interesting looking movie. It's one of them that I'm not going to probably see in theaters. I don't see it as a theater movie. We discussed that. You said it would be a good date movie.
Yeah, if I was taking a girl to the movies, it would be a viable option. If it was like me and a bro going to see a movie, no, I'm not going to go see this. I'll wait for DVD. But as a date movie, it could definitely work.
Yeah.
Alright, next. Red Lights. And now I didn't see you strongly react when you watched the trailer. I was pumped about this, but what were those the two magician movies that came out a few years ago?
The Prestige
and The Illusionist. Yeah. I was interested in both of those, and I ended up liking The Prestige a lot better.
Yeah.
The Illusionist was good. It was definitely a one-time only, and I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. The Prestige, I'd recommend at least everybody see one time. It's not one that you're gonna watch over and over again, but it's a good one time.
Yeah.
And Red Lights, I see as being more of a prestige. I guess we should sum that one up because not everybody's heard of it. It's basically Cillian Murphy and Sigourney Weaver are like this duo that go around discrediting like psychics and wizards or magicians or whatever. And Robert De Niro is like a magic psychic who has basically disappeared off everybody's radar for like 20 years and comes back, and he's blind and all kinds of crazy shit, and it just looks like a psychological paranormal, supernatural, fucking awesome fest. And again, this is one that if it was a different cast, I'd be like, man, I can't wait till that comes to Netflix so I can see it. But you got Robert De Niro, Cillian Murphy, and Sigourney Weaver. I'm definitely hitting it up like at Redbox, if not the theater or something. You know, it's one that I could see in theaters.
It's a movie that, if it had any other cast, I would have no interest in. I may see it when it came out, but it really doesn't look that great as far as just the premise, at least to me. It seems like a Paranormal Activity style, you know.
Oh no, I wouldn't compare it to that at all. That's all about like cheap thrills and no story.
Well, maybe Devil's Advocate would be a better example.
Yeah, I can maybe see that comparison.
And Devil's Advocate was a good movie, but it was not something that I would ever really purchase or watch repeatedly. And I see this being the same thing. It has a great cast. I think the strength of the cast will carry it. But
I think it's going to be one of those one-time views.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to. It's going to be one of those movies that everybody should probably see once.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Alright, next is Ted. Now, we'd kind of heard of this, and actually like a couple days before we saw the trailer in theaters, Brandon said to me, you know, hey, have you heard the guy for the Family Guy dude is doing a movie? I don't know if it's like Family Guy or what, and we were like, oh yeah, we're going to have to look into that.
Well, I saw the trailer, and I mentioned to you, it was kind of like what it reminded me of, what's that show on FX, with Willard. Yeah. Or
Wilfred.
Yeah.
Wilfred.
It looked kind of like a Wilfred, but instead of a dog, it was a stuffed teddy bear. And I was pretty excited, and then we saw the trailer, and the trailer looked even better than what I thought it was going to be. So.
I mean, it's about this this kid wishes, you know, that his teddy bear is his friend or whatever, and comes to life, and he comes to life and lives with him, and then it's him as an adult. It's Mark Wahlberg. Who is the girl in it? There's a famous girl playing that.
Is it Mila Kunis?
It is Mila Kunis, I think. But yeah, it's Mark Wahlberg with the teddy bear, Ted, voiced by, damn it, I can't remember his name.
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, you know, who also does a lot of the voices on the show. And it just looks like a raunchy, hilarious comedy. I mean, you have to look up the trailer. You have to look up the trailer. As soon as you're done watching this video, I want you to type in Ted trailer 2012 and watch that shit. Watch the theater. Watch the green band and the red band. They both have different like sketches in them, and they're both fucking hilarious. If you watch either one and don't want to see this movie, then something's broken in your soul. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yeah, it's Mila Kunis.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to keep the tablet up so we don't get in flame wars this week for people like fucking pissed. By the way, we should go ahead and correct that while we're thinking of it. Last week we reviewed The Raid, Redemption, and it's actually not a Taiwanese movie. It's actually an Indonesian movie. And apparently it's part of a planned trilogy. I found that out too. So there was some dispute with just the Raid title. So they went ahead and just called it Raid Redemption because they're actually planning on making 3 more. So you can look for the Raid whatever in the future too. Yeah. Alright, so on to the next. Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises, the new Batman movie. I'm sure everybody knows of its existence. Here's how pumped I am about it. They had I think 30 locations throughout the U.S. That were going to show a special 6-minute preview in IMAX attached to the Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol movie. And me and a buddy drove an hour to the nearest one showing it. But, you know, I like Mission Impossible movies. I was in no rush to see it in theaters, though. I could have easily waited for DVD. But, or Blu-ray, I mean, who am I kidding? I'm not renting it on DVD, I'm going to get it on Blu-ray. But anyway, so we drove to the theater, and we didn't, leave after the trailer or anything, you know, some people did, actually. Yeah. There were a couple people that actually did just leave as soon as the trailer was over, which is retarded to me. I mean, you paid, $15 to see the movie in IMAX, come on, dumbass, at least watch the movie. But anyway, by the way, Ghost Protocol, okay, worth a rent. the fucking 6-minute preview, amazing. Like, I'm so pumped, and it was great that they put it out there because it gave him a chance to alter Bane's voice a little bit. Because in the preview I saw, it was really hard to follow what he was saying at sometimes. So they altered a little bit.
They went through and
like,
did a complete recording of his voice.
Yeah, they completely redid the audio for him because it was like both of us were asking each other afterwards, like, I heard this part, what did he say there? You know, like comparing so we could get the whole dialogue. And you don't want that for a whole movie. Yeah. But other than that, it was fucking insane. Like, it was basically a 5-minute clip of like the beginning of the movie and then like a little preview attached to it. And I mean, it's got Tom Hardy playing Bane. Tom Hardy, great actor. Most of you have probably seen him and shit. You may just not recognize the name yet because he's getting really big in America. But prior to the last, like, maybe 2-3 years, he hadn't really been heard of in America. He's mainly just a British actor. Great actor, though. He's in it, playing Bane. And Anne Hathaway. You know, at first I was like, I don't know if Anne Hathaway can pull off tough as Catwoman. But then I remembered the lips. And as Catwoman, I think that's one thing that gets overlooked as, you know, how good will she look in the Catwoman outfit. The one piece of skin you can always see on Catwoman is the lips. And Anne Hathaway's got some great fucking lips. Looks smoking hot as Catwoman. And then you've got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who... like, they haven't really come out.
Big summer. I'm looking forward to a lot of movies.
I'm glad he's getting his props now, and I think Christopher Nolan is largely responsible for that. I think Nolan has started using a lot of actors that are really talented, and, shit, my battery's going dead. But, it's the same thing for Tom Hardy, you know. He wasn't really known in America until Nolan kind of picked him up and made sure he was known, and... Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like, they haven't really talked about exactly who his character is going to be playing, but there have been some pretty strong hints that it's going to be Gary Oldman's son, and in some of the comics, Gordon's son was groomed to be Batman when Bruce Wayne, like, gave it up. So there's a strong possibility that this could end with, you know, fucking, what's his ass?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
No, I was talking about Batman.
Oh.
Christian Bale grooming Joseph Gordon-Levitt to be Batman. I'm super pumped about that prospect. Yeah. And then, of course, they haven't really shown it in the previews, but I did see it on IMDb. Ra's al Ghul's going to be back. Liam Neeson's going to be back, and I have a feeling when you see him in the previews in the prison, I have a feeling that's why they're there. Because, you know, people that follow the series, like the comics, animated series, know Ra's al Ghul is immortal.
Yeah.
So, you know, the rules of the first movie don't really apply. You know, they showed him dying or whatever on the train. Doesn't really matter. He could have come back from that. So, yeah, I think this is going to be really good.
Like, out of the Nolan trilogy, like the first movie... I wasn't that big of a fan on it. I thought it was really good, but I didn't think it was as good as the Michael Keaton Batmans. But the second Nolan movie was the best comic book movie ever made, if you ask me. I thought... who played the Joker? It was
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. I didn't think that was going to work, because Jack Nicholson played the Joker.
Oh, yeah. I was one of the biggest naysayers against Heath Ledger before that movie came out.
There's no way that's going to work. You already had, you know, a great Joker. But he made it his own, and like I said, the best comic book movie ever made. So I'm super excited for Dark Knight Rises. I didn't see the trailer. All I seen are the trailers online. And I try not to watch too much of those, because if it's a movie I know I'm going to see... I see no point in watching a bunch of trailers for it. 'Cause I'm going to go see it. So this is going to be an interesting year. I think that will probably be the highest grossing, even over the Avengers.
It's entirely possible. I mean, the Avengers. The thing is, though, it could go either way because he's got to live up to the hype of the second one, you know, and. I think a lot of people forget that it's easy to make the second movie in a trilogy the best movie. And it should be, really, you know? That should be the peak.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the natural flow of the story arc. And, you know, Return of the Jedi, best in the trilogy.
Empire Strikes Back.
Or Empire Strikes Back, sorry.
Noob.
Empire Strikes Back, best in the trilogy, you know. Twin Towers.
Two Towers. What the hell is wrong with you?
Listen, I'm trying to focus on getting my tablet back
First of
up.
all,
It died.
The Fellowship of the Ring, they're best in the trilogy.
Nah,
the Two Towers
I
is
disagree.
great, but Fellowship, best in the trilogy.
I disagree.
Fellowship, you didn't know what was coming next. Well, I mean, if you read the book, you knew what was coming next. But you didn't know when you were in the crowd.
The Fellowship had more Hobbit on Hobbit action than I would have preferred.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
And they were just budding the romance in the
now,
first
are
one.
we talking about Fellowship, or are we talking about Fellowship Extended Cut?
Extended Cut.
Extended Cut, well, see, I'm talking about the theater experience.
It's still my favorite.
Extended Cut, I would go Fellowship. But it explained a lot of shit then. But still, I mean, do you not remember
the running across at the water, I'll give you, was kind of...
No, I'm talking about in the second one. You don't remember the fight, the defending? I mean, with them working together, the dwarf and the elf and the...
Yeah.
Like, you have to throw me across the
that
bridge,
was amazing,
but don't tell the elf. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, I'm not saying... all of them were great.
Yeah.
But the first one is the best.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, I don't remember what we were talking about.
We were originally talking about Batman and how it needs to live up to the second.
Yes, yeah.
Which, I after seeing the extended thing, like, I think it's going to be right on par with it. I do. I think it's going to be right on par with the second movie. And really, I mean, that's all you can expect from it. If you go in expecting it to be better, then
that's going to be hard to do.
That's a high fucking bar, you know? We've ranted on this forever. Next is Thale, which I'm excited about. You not as much.
You said you were going to do these in order, but you forgot one that's coming out next week that I want to talk about real quick, which is Bernie. Okay. I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
I thought he was just doing the blockbusters, but he's going through like all of them that we're going to talk about.
Okay.
But Bernie is a new Jack Black movie. Everyone knows I'm a huge Disciple. Getting the new CD, going to concert. It's going to be awesome. So it's Bernie. He plays this funeral director in this small Texas town, and he befriends this widow. And basically, he's doing everything for her. He's financially secure, so he's taking her places. He's basically waiting on her hand and foot. And from the previews, it makes it look like finally one day he's going to snap and kill her. And then you have Matthew McConaughey playing the prosecuting attorney. And it just looks like it's going to be a great movie. Like, you see the interviews with all the neighbors and stuff talk about just how great of a guy he is. And then you see McConaughey going, well, everyone thinks he's an angel, but I'm going to bust him.
See, I was going to cover this in the possible hit and miss category.
It's definitely hit.
Here's the thing.
Amazing.
Here's the thing. Dark comedies can really go either way. I mean, it's an area that you can just really, really miss with if you're not careful. I mean, and it's not going to be big no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
No matter if it's great or shit or whatever, it's not going to be big.
It'll be bigger than Thale.
I mean, did you see Lady Killers?
Yeah. I enjoyed Lady Killers.
Great dark comedy. Ask 10 people on the street, and if one of them says they saw it, I will give you $10. Because I guarantee you ask 10 people on the street, none of them fucking knows what the Lady Killers is.
I bet if you say, he brought his bitch to the Waffle Hut.
I use that line all the time. Anytime anybody mentions going to a Waffle House or anything, I'm like, you gonna bring your bitch to the Waffle Hut? Nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about, okay? And it's a great movie, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna be seen. Thale, I think you might be surprised. Like, is it gonna be a blockbuster? No. Well, I guess we should synopsis it. Do you have anything else you want to add on Bernie?
Oh, no. Just look up the trailer. It's going to be good.
Alright. Thale is basically this Scandinavian movie about like a mythical creature over there. It's kind of like a siren on land. Seduces men with her song and whatever. And the only trait that you can tell she's like a mythical creature with is she has a cow's tail, which I know, weird. It sounds weird to us as an American audience, but here's the thing. Had I seen the preview for this like a few years ago, I would have never given it a second look. But Scandinavian film and shows are just, they're impressing me the past couple years. If you haven't seen Troll Hunter, you need to see it. Last time I checked, it was on Netflix. Definitely worth a look. If you haven't seen Mutants, it's kind of like a zombie movie, only it's more along the line of like 28 Days, where it's not really zombies, it's like a virus that, you know, kind of makes you more primal, but not living dead. You know, you're still alive, you're just like, have this disease that makes you crazy. But yeah, Mutants, really good. The Millennium Trilogy, you know, all you people running out to see the girl with the dragon tattoo, remember, that is a Scandinavian story. The movies came out, and they were great. I'm going to see the American version. I haven't made it around to it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be good too. It's a great story that I already know that they're working with, and they got a great cast. And then, if you haven't seen Lilyhammer, the show that Netflix bought the rights for the U.S. for, I really liked it. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely a show that you should watch the first episode. If you watch the first episode and you like it, finish the series. If you don't, go ahead and take it off your queue, because you're not going to like it. It's going to stay pretty much the same. But all those coming from the Scandinavian countries make me really excited about Thale. I think it's going to be good. I think it's got a lot of potential, and I like movies about myths and stuff, and this is one that I'm not familiar with, but that doesn't take away from it for me, you know? I like finding out about new myths, and I just think it looks good. Looks like a good movie.
Like the Popabawa.
If someone makes a successful Popabawa movie, I'm going to be fucking pumped, and I'm going to see that movie. But I really don't see that happening. I mean, I'm sure there's one out there. But,
maybe it's Bollywood.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Oh, yeah. Some singing and dancing, Popabawa rape. Yeah. Alright, that'd be a good one. I think the last blockbuster that we can definitely agree on is Expendables 2.
Oh, yeah. Super pumped.
I don't think we need to sum this up. I'm pretty sure most people have seen the first Expendables. The Expendables 2... You know, I'm sure they're going to stick with the same formula, but this time they're adding Van Damme, Chuck Norris. There's supposed to be more Bruce Willis and more Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, they're supposed to have much bigger roles.
Yeah, because before Willis didn't have the time, and Schwarzenegger was limited as to what he could do because he was still in political office. This time, like, I can't believe it took so long to figure out this formula. Like, I don't know why Hollywood didn't do this earlier, and I think finally, like, Stallone had to basically just take care of everything himself. Hollywood still wouldn't listen, and they finally got the wake-up call, oh my god, this works. So, Expendables 2, following the same formula, just throwing in some new shit for us, you know? Again, I don't see how they could go wrong.
It's like the ultimate guys movie.
The only thing I don't like... They threw Channing Tatum in. Not excited about that, but
yeah,
I highly doubt Tatum's going to get the screen time that the bigger action stars are going to get. And so I'm going to be fine with it. Because it's not that I dislike Tatum, it's that I don't think he can carry a lot of the roles he's given on his own. But this one, you know, he's part of an ensemble cast, and he's going to get a limited amount of screen time. So, hey... Yay, Channing Tatum, you found a role that I actually may enjoy you in.
Yeah, I mean, this movie just has even better cast than the first one, with the addition of Van Damme and Chuck Norris. Yeah. And the first one had, like, the greatest cast of any movie ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great.
The first movie is one of my all-time favorite action movies. Yeah. And I'm even more excited for this one, because I didn't know if the first one was going to work. And it did. I mean, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren's, working together. That was amazing. You had the little brother, Jason Statham, Stallone feel to it. And I'm just so excited. Yeah. This is probably the movie I'm most excited about.
And last on the must-see list for me is Madagascar 3. And I know what you guys are going to say, wow, that doesn't fit with the rest of them. Here's the thing. I have to kind of incorporate different flavors for different people and situations. And I have to have some movies that I can see with my little cousins when I take them to do stuff or buy them a present, you know, for their birthday or whatever. It's good to have a DVD or Blu-ray you can pick up for them to enjoy at home. Madagascar, consistently been a good, funny one. And here's what I look for in a kid's movie. They need to be entertained by the colors and the noises and the jokes, you know, the little fart humors and all that. And I need to be entertained, you know? It doesn't need to be like, I am wondering what sharp object I can stab into my skull to make this stop.
Yeah.
I need to be able to sit through it with them. And Madagascar 3, I think they've consistently done that with that franchise. Plus, it's supposed to have a great video game coming out for it.
Yeah, the video game I hear is amazing.
So, you know, I might be able to even partner that in when I buy my little cousins their presents, and then we can play the game together.
Yeah, it's completely co-op from beginning to end.
That's what I hear. I hear it's got, you know, puzzles that aren't too hard, but fun and amusing.
Yeah,
and some mini games in there.
Get to see, you know, your little cousins think and learn.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great game to play with your kids.
Yeah.
Or younger family members.
And, I mean, it's got the penguins in it. And who doesn't love the penguins? Those little happy slappers. Alright, next we're going to cover the ones that at least one of us hopes is good, but probably won't be. First on the list is Snow White and the Huntsman. And I know what you're thinking. I know a lot of people are thinking, why the fuck would I even put that on the list? Here's the thing. If I saw that trailer and it went by a completely different fucking other name, it wasn't about Snow White, it was just about, you know, this chick who was outcast in the medieval, like, fantasy age by this evil queen, and she found this guy that was the assassin sent to kill her, but now he wants to help her. I mean, that sounds like it could be a cool movie. They get dwarves to help them fucking battle and shit. I mean, that sounds like a cool fantasy movie. I would go see that. The thing that doesn't make me want to see it is the fact that it is Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah.
I think that's where they went wrong. If they wouldn't have tried to cash in on the Snow White name, I think it would have been a much better movie.
That doesn't really bother me, and I think this could be good. I just don't think it will be. Yeah. I mean, it has all the potential to be an awesome movie.
Yeah.
But
and I think if I can just forget that it's Snow White, like, you know, just kind of cast that aside and just watch it for what it is, then I think I'll be fine with it.
I think they're mostly just taking a nod of the cap to Snow White and not. I'm hoping they're not going to follow the story directly.
You can't call it a tip of the cap if you put it in the title. And they're trying to get bank on it.
Yeah.
You know? They're trying to bring in that crowd that grew up on Disney movies. You know, and they're trying to get, especially the teenage girls whose mothers had them watch Disney movies and now watch Twilight because they tried to also throw in the chick from Twilight. Yeah, and Marcus. Alright, so anyway, next, Amazing Spider-Man. I want this to be good, and I like the Spider-Man trilogy. Even the last one that a lot of people bash on, you know. Was it the best? No, not by far. It was the least favorite of the three. But it wasn't fucking horrible by any means. It was still good. Sure, they did some things wrong, but they did a lot of things right, too.
I enjoyed emo Spider-Man. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious, too. His little dance and his little, you know, fucking amazing. I thought he pulled it off great, you know, and he was kind of supposed to be a douche.
Yeah.
He came off as a douche. I mean, really the only misstep that I had with that movie was I don't think they did Venom right at all. But other than that, I think most of it is pretty good.
I mean, I like Topher Grace, but he was not the right casting for Venom.
No, he wasn't. The thing is, here's my biggest gripe with Spider-Man. I don't know why they sent him back to high school. You know, I understand why they're doing that in the cartoons, because they're fucking cartoons. Your target demographic is in, like, fucking middle school and shit. That's why it works for those. For the Spider-Man movies, I don't think that's really your target demographic, you know? I don't think you needed to put them in school. And I don't think you needed to cast people who were made famous playing high school roles 5 to 10 fucking years ago. Everybody knows they're not high school age anymore, so why are we all supposed to pretend that they are? I mean, fuck, you might as well have fucking cast Ian McKellen as Spider-Man and been like, hey, Sir McKellen, you're going to be in fucking high school now as Spider-Man.
I have buy that. He's a good enough actor. I'd believe this in high school.
I think it'd be more believable. I mean, if I was going to believe... If one actor that is clearly not in high school is going to fool me out of fucking Garfield or McKellen, it's going to be McKellen. I mean, that's just... It's as clear as day. And not to take anything away from him, or Stone playing the love interest. I think they're both good actors, but... They're obviously not in fucking high school.
Yeah.
I mean, come the fuck on. Why did they... I don't understand why they did that. If anybody can give me a fucking good reason for saying, we're going to put you back in high school, but we're going to have you played by 30-year-olds, then I will fucking accept
The whole reason they're doing it is, I mean, it's going to be another origin story of Spider-Man, which takes place in high school. So they had to place him there, but... Do we really need another origin story of Spider-Man?
Exactly.
We know how Spider-Man got his powers.
Exactly. I don't think we need another complete reboot. I mean, and I think the Superman movie kind of scared everybody away from just picking up where the original movies left off. That wasn't the problem with that last Superman movie. The problem was they tried... to jump on the humanizing superheroes bandwagon, which works for Peter Parker, because he grew up as a scrawny, puny, weak human. Superman is fucking Superman. He's the one superhero that you cannot humanize, because...
He's not human.
Yeah, he can't understand what it is to be a person, because he's not. He's a fucking superhero, born and bred. He didn't get his powers at some point, you know? It's like trying to get a blind person who was born blind to, you know, sympathize with how we see colors. He can't do it. They just took the wrong turn there. They should have went with a different script, and...
I mean, they did a great job casting it. And I don't even think that was my big issue. It was the pacing of the movie. It was 2.5 hours. That should have been an hour and a half. And it would have worked so much better. God, I love Kevin Spacey as... Lex Luthor. I thought Brandon Roth did a good job as Superman.
And I actually liked the movie.
Yeah, it was good.
I own it. You know, I'm not one of those that hated on it. I liked it. It just could have been a lot better, and I can definitely see why a lot of people were turned off of it.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't enough action. They just took a lot of missteps. But with this Spider-Man, I think they could have picked up where the other trilogy left off. Or... You know, like, right after it left off. I mean, I don't remember anything from the movies that would have prevented them from being like, 2 weeks later in fucking Spider-Man land, you know? Like, I don't remember anything saying that they couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would have went back and fucking redone this. It's stupid to me, especially with such a fresh franchise. We're talking about something not even a decade old, and they're fucking rebooting it. So yeah, I don't expect good things from it. Now, I've seen some trailers that look pretty decent for it, but I'm not holding my breath. I think there's a lot more chance of a train wreck than a new tentpole franchise.
Yeah, and like you said, with the Superman scaring people off, I think Batman is why they try to do a brand new restart, because, you know, you had the Val Kilmer and then you had the shit storm of the George Clooney Batman and Robin.
But with that, you can kind of see why they did it, because the George Clooney, you know, it obviously killed any stab at camp when it came to Batman. You could no longer do the, like, 60s, 70s Batman. That was out. You had to do the new gritty Batman because they fucking made sure that horse was beat till it was dead. But anyway, on to the next. Rock of Ages. I wish this movie was going to be good. I love seeing Tom Cruise as a rock star. He looks like a cool asshole rock star. Alec Baldwin looks funny. I mean, there's a bunch of good casts in this.
Good cast.
You know, and we're not even going to get into all the cast because it's got Russell Brand, it's got other people.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's a musical. And I'm not even one of those that just discounts things automatically because they're musicals, but the fact is, there's way more shit musicals out there than there are good ones. Probably the last actual like movie that I would consider a musical that I liked was Nightmare Before Christmas. That's probably the last I could think of that I liked. I swear to Christ, if you mention Cannibal, I swear to Christ.
Cannibal's fucking amazing.
I swear to Christ.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
No, it was crap.
Cannibal the musical. Trey Parker, Matt Stone in college. Look it up. Amazing.
Anyway, so that the cast makes me want to see it. The musical part makes me not. But again, if there's not a better option for a couples movie or something, and I'm going on a date when that's out, then that could be an option, you know, because I think there could be a chance, unless those circumstances happen. And notice I said if there's not a better date movie option out, because this would not be my top choice. Then I'll probably just wait and hear what some people say about it before I even consider renting it. Bourne Legacy is next. I don't know. Are you excited about this? Because did you like the Bourne trilogy though?
I enjoyed the Bourne trilogy, but I thought each movie got worse. Like, I loved the first one, liked the second one, thought the third was okay.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Definitely. But the third one, I think, could have been a lot better, but you could tell they rushed it. And I hadn't been following it. I watched the movie and I was like, man, that really felt like they were just making it up as they went. Looked it up. Turns out that's pretty much what happened. They pretty much did just make it up as they went and were like running short on time and shit. Here's my biggest gripe about it. The new Bourne, what's his name, Jeremy Renner or whatever. I like him. You know, again, he's going to be in the Avengers too. He's got a couple big movies out this summer. But in this one, it's supposed to be like the perfect Bourne program or whatever. And that was what made Bourne so amazing, was that he wasn't perfect. If this guy's just like the perfect killer, it's going to be boring. It's going to be dull. I mean,
the one thing I would say to counter that was Liam Neeson in Taken. Because he was kind of the perfect killer, and it was amazing.
No. He was the perfect agent, but he wasn't an agent anymore, and he was doing this all for his daughter. It wasn't like he was on a mission, you know, that was given to him. He was doing that to save his daughter. And if they do something like that, if they give him that emotional side, then it could be good.
Yeah.
But that's not what it looks like to me from the trailers. It looks like, you know, he's going to be on the mission. He's basically the Terminator. That's not why Bourne worked. Bourne was a Terminator with a heart of gold. You know, he didn't want to kill anybody, didn't have to. He just wanted to be left alone with his wife, you know, and that's what made him great.
It does have Edward Norton, and I'm a huge Edward Norton fan.
I used to be. He's had a lot of misses in the past few years. I absolutely hated him in The Hulk. I gotta be honest.
I enjoyed him as the Hulk, but I enjoyed Eric Bana as the Hulk.
See, and I shouldn't even say I hated him as the Hulk. I should say I hated that movie. Like, a lot of people told me, oh, it's so much better than the first one. I didn't buy the first one. I didn't buy the second one. That's all I got to say. I had no desire to purchase either of them. So, people can argue it was good all they want. It was okay at best. What were we talking about originally? Oh yeah, Bourne Legacy. We got way off that. Okay, Total Recall's next. Are you excited about this one? Do you think it's going to be good?
It's one of them that I didn't like I didn't like Total Recall.
I loved the original Total Recall.
I thought Total Recall was another one that was overrated.
Basically, like, if you mention an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the 80s, I fucking loved the shit out of it. And Total Recall is...
Conan the Destroyer.
Okay, the second Conan... But I still bought it. I still liked it enough to buy it. It just was nowhere near as good as the first Conan. But anyway, this one, I don't know. I mean, it's got a good cast. Looks like the special effects are good. Looks like they kind of mixed it up with a bit of a Blade Runner, Firefly vibe to it, you know. That being said, I don't know, man. I really, really, really don't know. I'm not going to be in a hurry to see this one. It could be good. Colin Farrell can do really good work. I love Colin Farrell as an actor. But he can also just phone in, fluff pieces of shit. So, I don't know. Could go either way. I'm not rushing out to see it. I'm going to see what some people say before I even think about spending money on it.
Yeah, it's definitely one I'm going to wait for, like a red box.
Okay, we're probably going way over time, so let's just rush through these last ones. Odd Life of Timothy Green. It's from the writer Gilbert Grape. It's basically about this couple that can't have a kid. It's Jennifer Garner and I forget the guy's name. One of the guys from Warrior. We'll post it up in the info or something. We don't got time to look through it right now. But they can't have a kid, and they write down all the things they wish they could have a kid be, and like put it in the ground. Kid appears, heart-touching movie, you know, all this and that. A good family movie's good every now and then, you know, especially a tearjerker. Dear God, you girls love tearjerkers for some reason. So I could see it being okay. That being said, it could be horrible too. Next, Paranorman. This is like a CG animated movie about a little kid who like is into ghosts and stuff like that.
Joel Edgerton.
Yeah, Joel Edgerton was the guy from Warrior that's in Odd Life.
Which is a good movie too.
But Paranorman, about this little kid, Norman, and into ghosts and paranormal stuff like that. Town gets attacked by zombies. Looks cute, brings zombie paranoia to a new generation. I'm all for both of those. Probably just going to be fluff, you know. It's probably going to be more like the Chicken Little or whatever than it is a Madagascar or a Toy Story or something like that. But, you know, could be something to watch with the little cousins, nephews, sons, daughters, all that. Anyway, next, Premium Rush. Good cast. The premise has promise. It's basically about a bicycle courier who gets mixed up in this big hoo-yah, like corporate conspiracy or something. It's kind of unclear as to what exactly it is. And he's just kind of trying to survive and get his shit where he needs to go. The downside is it's about a bicycle courier. Yeah. And it looks like it's going to have like a lot of stupid bicycle stunts in it. Could be good. Probably going to be gleaming the cube. Anyway, last one, I figure this one you'll have something to definitely chime in on, is Fightville. A documentary about a couple of up-and-coming fighters. They basically, from what I can tell, just picked a couple fighters and are following them.
I think they're picking like an organization in Louisiana and just kind of...
Maybe, yeah. But it could be good, you know, could shine some light on some fresh blood in the fight game and give people a better understanding of what it takes to actually become a professional fighter. Downside is toughs on every Friday at 10, you know, and I mean that in one, it's kind of like watching a documentary every week at 10 about fighters and what it takes to become a fighter, and two, it has done a lot to bring fans to the sport, but has also given a ton of fodder to fucking critics of the sport. I mean, Tough, season after season, has at least an episode or two dedicated to how fucking stupid these guys can be when it comes to drinking and doing shit that they shouldn't do on fucking TV, for fuck's sake. You know there's fucking cameras there, you fucking know it. Don't get drunk and be a fucking asshole and make the whole fucking sport look bad because you're a fucking dumbass. Anyway, that was my rant about it.
Yeah. Like you said, it depends on how they shine a light on the sport. You know, mixed martial arts is something that the true fan really knows and respects the actual sport of it. But as we've come to know, the tougher noob is the guy who's like, oh, I could beat up anybody. I fight in bars all the time. I could fight Anderson Silva and whip his ass. I'm bad.
And our all-time favorite of, you know, the grappling.
Yeah.
Fuck a bunch of wrestling. I want to see some swinging.
Yeah. It's... The tougher noob is very annoying to me, and if this is a movie dedicated to the tougher noob, it's going to be horrible. If it's dedicated to, you know, just kind of humanizing the sport, because a lot of people still see it as human cockfighting. Yeah. It shows, you know, the passion that goes in, the hard work that it takes to become an elite martial artists in the sport, I think it could be really good.
What I'm kind of hoping is there's another movie out I want to see at the same time, and I go to see that movie, and I get a look at what crowd's going to see Fightville.
Yeah.
Because if I see a line of Affliction shirts at the door, I'm not going to go in there with that crowd. I'll watch it on demand or something, because I'm gonna watch this eventually, no matter what, just to see how it came out.
I think, it wasn't a documentary, but Warrior. We just mentioned it a couple minutes ago. That was a great mixed martial arts movie. It really humanized the fighters. It really respected the actual sport and art of the sport. So, if you want to see a great mixed martial arts movie, watch Warrior or Red Belt. Red Belt's probably the greatest mixed martial arts movie ever.
Yeah, Red Belt's definitely one of my favorite MMA movies. Little slow paced for a lot of people, though. If you can't get through a slower paced movie, don't even try. You're not going to get through it. If you haven't seen Red Belt, definitely watch it. It's a great movie, great acting. But what were we talking about before that? We were talking about something.
We're talking about Fightville.
You were talking about something
Tougher
specifically
noobs.
on that. Damn it, I lost my train of thought completely.
Alright, well, that's good cutting spot anyway. One last trailer. It doesn't fit into the time frame, but look up Looper. That's going to be something really exciting. I think it comes out in September.
Yeah, Looper.
So look up that trailer.
Yeah, by the way, we only covered movies coming out through the end of August, and we just covered kind of the tops on our list, so I'm sure we missed some. And there's some coming out later in the year that we haven't covered, so we'll do that, later in the fucking year. I don't remember what it was. Warrior, the one thing that I didn't like about how it represented, though, was the big fight at the end, or the big tournament or whatever. Don't go, if you don't know anything about UFC or anything, don't go in and thinking that that's what UFC is actually like. If someone breaks their arm, the fight is stopped. They don't continue on no matter how tough the fucker is. If his arm's flopping around, the ref's calling it.
That was done definitely for the dramatic purposes.
And I think they mixed in enough drama to make it accessible to mainstream. So.
Alright, well, this was a long episode, I'm pretty sure. So
maybe I can chop down some air here and there. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Alright, as always, friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is the FearnutZ Hour signing off.